You may have realized that being healthy feels different than it did in the past now that you're over 50. If you want to maximize your health potential but don't have time to read through overwhelming pages of Google links, this is the show for you. Welcome to Healthy Tips After 50. We love doing the research, finding solutions, talking to health experts, and learning what works and what doesn't. Now, your host. She spent the last 25 years dedicated to feeling her best and is here to share her best findings with you, Susan Rosen.
Hello, everyone. This is your host, Susan Rosen, and my guest today is Mark Evin. Can't screw that one up. I like that kind of a name. And Mark is here to talk about a lot of different things, but particularly exercise and getting in better shape. And I'm going to throw it over to you and welcome Mark for being here.
Thank you very much, Susan. It's a pleasure to be speaking with you today. So I'll start by introducing myself, kind of telling a little bit about how I got into this. So I come from the multimedia space. So for me, it's all about creating interactive experiences for people that engage and inspire people in different ways. And before I got into LudoFit Health, I was creating interactive installations for museums and science centers.
Oh, wow.
And, so it's kind of a roundabout way to get to where I'm at now. But, life is a journey, as they say. But for me, that's really where it comes from, really looking at different interactive technologies and educating people and inspiring people in different ways. And how I got into fitness and how I got into health and working with different types of populations. I actually was doing some projects for the Science Center here in Montreal. That's where I'm from. And I was connected with kids with developmental coordination disorder. And that's how I sort of started working with my partners, creating technologies, interactive technologies, so video game technologies to help them do their exercises for specific developmental needs and challenges. So proprioception, balance, strength, coordination, those types of things. And the journey led me to my co-founder, and his father had actually had a stroke a few years before we met. And so we decided at that time, I that really sort of opened the door to that space was around a neurological rehabilitation, and we decided to reorient our technology for specific, at that time, for neurological health. And that was something that we had started working on in 2012. So quite a while ago, doing those projects. And we partnered up with a number of clinical researchers. We built our programs. And then as we started to develop this program, we called it Gentronics. That was the program. And we were bringing this to rehabilitation hospitals around the United States and the world. Right now, that technology is in over 300 facilities in the States.
Wow.
Then we we really saw the opportunity to broaden what we were doing to larger populations who have different types of needs, whether it be they're just coming off a fall, or they have an operation that they came off of that they're recovering from. There were so many reasons that people need to do physical exercise, and not just any physical exercise, but evidence-based physical exercise. And what's the biggest challenge? What is the biggest blocking thing between me and me doing the exercise? It's not something that you can put your finger on physically. It's a mental thing. And so that's really what was sort of the fundamental core of everything we're doing at LudoFit Health, is really finding ways to engage and inspire and motivate people to do different types of evidence-based exercise. And LudoFit is our newest program that we created. And it's a general strength and balance exercise program for healthy aging. And it uses evidence-based exercise, and it combines it with elements around leisure. So you're traveling the world virtually, you're skiing the Alps, you're rock climbing in Thailand, you're cycling the Tour de France, you're we're actually one of our recent games here in the rafting the Petrohue River in southern Chile, overlooking the Osorno volcano. So
Oh my
we're really
God.
great experiences. And so that's sort of how I got into it. And it really came from a perspective of not just me and my spandex trying to get people to, do their reps. It really became from understanding what were sort of the mental challenges and the motivational challenge around exercise and creating
Hmm. Hmm.
experiences to really help with that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And making it interesting isn't exactly the right word that I was thinking of, but stimulating enough
Yeah, yeah,
that people will keep coming back, right?
exactly. It's
Yeah.
interesting you use the word stimulating because when I speak to people, because we speak to a lot of people, users and non-users and prospective users and people who want to considering it. And we've learned that the type of person who really gravitates to this type of program is someone who needs a lot of stimulation in their life. They're not really, they're the type of person who use the word, if I'm going to do exercise, it feels like a chore. It's like repetitive, it's mundane, and I need stimulation. And that's like you could say, well, maybe you should meditate and find ways to do with less stimulation and be okay with that. Or you can, embrace it, jump in, get more stimulation, enjoy, revel in the stimulation. And
Uh-huh.
and that's really and so that's the type of person. So LudoFit's not for everybody. It's for the person who wants to exercise, but just needs more stimulation, I guess.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So what came to mind was, people who like to do group exercises, because that's the same kind of thing. It's like there's a lot of other people, and so you can kind of talk while you're doing it, following it. Am I doing it right?
For
All
sure,
that kind of stuff. It's
for
not
sure.
just yourself in your living room, with your weights and
Exactly,
and stuff.
exactly. So
Yeah.
that's something that's coming up with LudoFit. So right now it is as something that when we created this program, we wanted it to be something that was really like me centric, you centric, where it's
Uh-huh.
like I want to do my exercises, I want to have fun, and I want to do it now, and I don't want to deal with any coordination or have to go anywhere, and I want to have fun doing it.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
a lot of people really love and so we're actually adding a social element to LudoFit going forward, so
Ah,
people can
interesting.
share their
Okay.
progress and things like that. But the way we see it is, what do people want? Why do they go for social settings? Well,
Hmm.
it comes down to the stimulation. It really is about that stimulation. So, and there are many ways to
Yeah.
get your stimulation.
Yeah.
That ways that really satisfies the mind and not just the body while you're exercising. And that's really important no matter how you do your exercise.
Hmm. Hmm. Oh no, absolutely. Absolutely. And we as human beings are, I can never remember what they call it, but we have to be in groups. That's how we
We're,
work
we're
best,
yeah, a
right?
social species. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's good to take advantage of that.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So
Hmm.
that's definitely something that's coming up next with this program is we're going to be adding elements where you could share your progress and root each
Aha.
other on and motivate each other and engage in friendly competition.
Oh
So
God.
really having
Yeah.
that connective element for sure
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
is super important. Absolutely.
Interesting. Interesting. Yes. And then there are those of us that don't really get into it that much. But we won't go there. Funny. Yeah. Human beings, we're really just kind of strange.
But
Um,
yeah, but in some way there's the social element, but then there's a lot of people who are not,
yeah, no,
that's not something that is the right stimulation for them,
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I meet a lot of people that says like I don't want to be in a group. Everyone
Right.
tells me I need to be in a group. They tell me that's part of my birthright as a human being and everything. But like I want to be on my own, and that's how I want to
Uh-huh.
do it. But I also want
Right.
stimulation. So
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I
that's
think
another
it's
way to look
great.
at it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it's great that you've got that started, and now you're looking at, okay, how do we take that and serve another group of people who want, who do
Yeah,
want the camaraderie and the group.
totally. It's when we did our research for this program.
Uh-huh.
So what's different between our flagship program, the Gentronics program, the one that's in a lot of rehabilitation facilities,
Mm-hmm.
is that's a program that's it's a gamified video game based program, very similar, but it's
Ah,
it's for therapists are the ones that decide to use it. They're the one. It's really they're the
got
they're
it.
the users, and then the patient, the person who's has the condition or
Mm-hmm.
the
Right.
rehabilitation need, they get in front of it and they just do it.
Yeah.
What's different about LudoFit is that it's the person who's in the driver's seat, the person who's deciding, I want to use it today, I'm going to go and use it. That's the person themselves, and there's only one person. It's the
Uh-huh. Yeah.
person at home who says, hey, it's time to do some exercise. I'm going to do it with LudoFit.
Yeah.
Um, so we had to do a lot of research to understand, well, this is something different. This is something new for us. And we found that there's different types of people and different
Ah,
ways that
okay.
different people are motivated. And
Uh-huh.
there's a lot of research in this space about how
Uh-huh.
people are motivated. And there are people who are more um, socially minded. There are people who are explorers. There are people who are
Ah,
competitors. So there's specific
okay.
labels that define broader categories. It's like, well, what kind of person am
Interesting.
I?
Yeah.
What I don't know. What's the word? What gets me going?
Right.
Am I a
Yeah.
social person? Am I and there's a few of them. There's social, there's
Uh-huh.
explorer. So it's a person like, I want to learn new things. I want to get new
Mm.
information. I want to connect in maybe more intellectual ways. Not that the other ways aren't intellectual, but
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
heady
No, right.
ways. I
Yeah.
want to read. I want to watch the Discovery Channel, stuff like
Want to
that.
know the why.
Yeah, I want to know the why exactly. There are people like that, and then there are the people who are the competitors. They're competing against themselves. They look at their score.
Yes.
It's all, everything
Yes.
is a means to the end of like, well, where do they rank compared to other things? And it's that could be not a great thing, but if you do it in a healthy way, it could be really
Uh-huh.
really really
Yeah.
helpful, and it could be really invigorating and life affirming.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something
Yeah.
that we decided, and we found with our program that the part that was missing the most when it comes to fitness for
Uh-huh.
people is the explorer type of person, which
Ah,
is that
okay.
for the people who love social, and that's where they get their energy from. They're
Yeah.
they're extroverted, oriented people. They have no problem going to a class, and there are fitness offerings out there for people who are really into the social element.
Oh my God, yeah.
For people who are competitive, a lot of fitness doesn't necessarily need to be tied to competition, but the Olympics, set that up,
Yeah.
and now fitness is very interwoven with competition. And so there's a
Mm.
lot. If I'm a competitively minded person, I'm going to really be into whatever I'm doing, pickleball, this, that. But then there are the people who just want to learn, want to connect, want to read, want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the people who we meet. And there are a large number of people who are, and they say, well, I don't really do exercise because there's nothing like, I don't really want to be around a group. It's just not my vibe. I'm not hugely competitive. I'm competitive with myself. They'll say, I like
Mm-hmm.
to be the best I can be,
Mm-hmm.
but there are no, I haven't found any fitness offerings that really fit who I am. And that's
Yeah.
really the first stage that who we say, okay, well, we're going to build LudoFit for you.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And that's what we did. And a lot of our users, they really, if you go to our website and you see the testimonial videos, these people kind of talking about their life and who they are and where they came from, and
Ah,
what
okay.
gets them going. And then they all have that certain energy about them that they like to play, they like to learn, they like to engage. And so that's what we built this first for them. Next, we're gonna be expanding to adding social elements, adding more competition.
Okay.
Actually, the next piece we're adding is more achievement element and
Okay.
competitive elements. between
Yes.
people and themselves, and
Yeah.
then social. So because social is there's a lot of fitness offerings for people who are socially inclined, let's say.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and a lot of people, and I can understand this as well. I think um, they're competing against themselves. It's like, how can I do better? How can I go faster? How can I do more weight? How can I do, than I've been doing?
Right.
And
Right.
that's what the incentive is that they have
Yeah.
for getting them going.
Yeah. And there's different ways to look at it, incentive for when
Hmm.
it comes to like sport or fitness. So you can look at incentive, or you can look at people's achievements in terms of, well, I want to be able to have more endurance or do more squats, and that's really
Hmm.
important. And or lift a heavier weight, or engage in more core strength,
Right.
and they'll do exercise directly focused on that. And then
Uh-huh.
there are people who think about achievement on another level that has to do with the environments and the games that we've created. So, I want to get down this hill faster. I want to dodge more cyclists as I cycle the Tour de
Uh,
France. I want
okay.
to I want to collect more collectibles, you know? And that's
Mhm.
sort of the magic of the video game, is
Uh-huh.
because it transports you to a different world. So this is a
Mm.
program that is a fitness program, but combines fitness with video games with world travel environments. So that's sort of what the program is all about. And the idea is for people to latch on and get engaged and excited, both in terms of their physical state
Hmm. Hmm.
improving or being maintained, but then there's also the whole world of the game that people kind of get into, and whether it be a role playing game or mahjong or whatever, people get into what they're
Yeah.
doing, and then they lose track of where
Uh-huh.
they are, and you say,
Yeah.
well, where were you? I don't know. I was in the game. I was playing solitaire. I was trying to solve
Uh-huh.
this puzzle. That's what we want to take, that sort of unique thing about how humans are able to sort of engage and lose track of time and kind of get
Oh yeah.
involved in something, and take that and apply that to fitness, because that's something
Uh-huh.
that's missing. There's a lot of games that people enjoy, but we want to take that and bring that to the fitness experience. And then the achievements are not just achievements in this world, which are
Hmm.
obviously that's the final goal, but the mind gets in starts to enjoy, I want to get to the next town in my Tour de
Right.
France game,
Yeah.
or I want to solve this puzzle. Our next game is going to be an Egyptian adventure. It's inspired by Indiana Jones.
Oh no.
So I want to solve these puzzles so I can get through these doors. But
Right.
all the movements, everything, there's cognitive games in this program, and physical games. So to get to the door, I got to do squats, side steps, reaching. To get through the door, I have
Ah.
to do some memory challenges.
Uh-huh.
So it's
Yeah.
all about. So where are you? You're in Egypt, right? But what are you doing? You're doing things that are going to be, life affirming and invigorating for this world. So, you get energy, you can go out the door, have some pep in your step, and go meet people and have some fun.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, it sounds like you have a big goal
Hmm.
in mind. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
It's
is
uh it's, it's
exciting.
definitely a big goal, but you gotta break it down and do like one
Oh my
step at
God.
a
Yeah.
time. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh yeah. That's the only way you can get there
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
anything,
Totally.
not
We've
just
been
with what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah. We started creating LudoFit, this program, in
Uh-huh.
2021. At the end of 2020, we
Oh,
were
okay.
kind of
Well,
doing
that's
our
not that
research and
long
figuring.
ago.
It's been a few years. It's been
Yeah,
a
but
few years that
that's
we.
still not that's for something like this. It's not really that long ago. I don't think
I guess so. I guess so. Sometimes,
people are used to everything being faster these days, but not
yeah,
always.
yeah, 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 yeah. Well, a lot of what we were doing, we have our we had a small group of people that we were working with.
Okay.
We call them our army of elders. They're our group of people that we've started working with. We met them through various means, and they took a really sort of leaned in and sort of wanted to be part of the
Ah,
development of this program. It's
uh-huh.
about a couple dozen people.
Wow.
Real class acts, all of them. Real fun folk. And we get emails in the middle of the night about ideas about how to improve the program,
I love it.
about TV shows from the 1970s that we should take a look at to inspire us
Oh my
on
God.
some environments to do. And so we've been doing sessions with these people on a
Ah,
very regular basis. So basically,
uh-huh.
we build a small component. We get on a Zoom call with them. They get on the other side. They start using the program. We watch them using it. They sort of talk their way through it. It's like this I don't understand. Oh, this was good. This was makes sense. And they're sort of like working it through with us. But really taking a program like this, because this is LudoFit is a motion sensing program. I don't know if I kind
Oh
of
no,
went
you didn't
into that.
mention that. Okay.
Yeah, so how does LudoFit work? It's
Yeah.
a program that you download onto your laptop or iPad or whatever,
Hmm.
and you just run the program, and it basically uses your web camera to sense and measure your movements. So you basically would sit in front of your
Ah,
device or you stand in front of your device, and LudoFit's going to track all the joints in your body and
wow.
basically use computer vision
Uh-huh.
to track the motions that you're doing, and then it relays your movements into the avatar on the screen. So
Oh
if
wow.
you were, yeah, if you were, skiing the Alps, for example, you'd be standing in front of your device and see your skier in the environment, and you would see a branch, over on the side, and then you'd have to squat under the branch. And then as you squat, your character is going to squat. So your character on the screen is mimicking the movements that you're doing. Or then you'd go through a glade and you'd see trees around, and you'd have to weight shift from side to side to
Ah,
navigate around the trees. So that's really how the program works.
okay.
It's nothing that people haven't seen this type of program before. This is a very new type of thing, let alone something for this is a program for older adults. So not everyone is born and raised with computers and things like that. And so creating a technology, and this is not just technology, it's cutting edge technology.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you get that to be usable, you know, easy to use, simple, that type of thing?
Right.
That took a lot of work.
I
And
bet.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
You have grandmothers around that you're testing this on or what?
Yeah. Well, my
Older
dad, my
parents?
folks,
Yep,
my
there you
aunts,
go.
uncles,
Yeah.
my dad's 79 years old, and
All right.
actually he's user number one. He's user number one.
Ah,
Um,
okay.
he's a big skier, so he was a
Oh,
big part of the yeah, he still skis, still goes to the ski
wow.
mountain, he does his thing.
I'm impressed.
His father who's no longer around, but he was skiing until his early 80s. So
Oh
it's
my
quite
God.
good. And now I have now that the pressure's on for me, I have to,
There you go.
but my dad was a key part of developing this program,
Uh-huh.
and um, explaining everything. So he tried very early versions of the program, and calling me a
Ah,
lot, and explaining what worked and what didn't, and how the program should be improved. And a lot of the games really have his fingerprints all over it, down to the music and sound effects.
I love it. I love
Yeah,
it. Well,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's that's so wonderful that you had somebody there
yeah.
who
Oh
was
yeah,
exactly who you were designing this for. And they
yeah.
were getting, I'm sure you were getting his excitement.
Totally, totally, absolutely. And actually, it's funny you say that, because now that the program is ready, it's live, it's out there. My dad's been going around town in Montreal, visiting communities and senior
Uh-huh.
centers and bases.
Uh-huh.
He's been out there
He's a
doing his,
salesman.
huh?
He's your salesman.
Yeah. He's been out there going out there and talking to people and pitching the
Uh-huh.
program, getting people on the program, connecting with
Wow.
them as friends, like this
Yeah.
is my
Yeah.
journey. They talked about, people got really, they shared with him, like, I won't go into
Hmm.
any details, but
Yeah.
they shared their problems. They shared their
Yeah.
challenges, their life challenges. And it's like,
Yeah.
this is my challenge. This is what I'm going through. This is what my husband's going through. This
Yeah.
is why we hope this program works for us, because this is why we need it, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
things like, different types of post-operation, depression, being at home, when it's
Yep.
cold outside, allergies. There's all kinds of reasons why someone needs a program like this, needs something to make them feel, give them a thrill, give them some stimulation.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Absolutely. A reason to get out of bed in the morning.
yeah, exactly. And it's like, you know, it's not like a program like this is not meant to be the reason you get out of bed in the morning, but it's meant to be something that can give you a little energy so you can go out
Yes.
and because if you want to go out, and be social and meet with people and sort of be yourself and be relaxed, it helps to feel good, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
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 So for me, when I have a nice, dinner planned or something like that, and I have to be at my best self or at least try, I like to do a little workout before, get the blood
Ah.
moving so I can
Uh-huh.
be myself and feel good. And I
Yeah.
think that that's the reason why we exercise. So some people say, well, people, if they exercise, they should be exercising it's better to be social, or it's better to be, well, for sure. It's great to be social. But if you're not feeling like you need to jumpstart the engine, in
Yes.
order to have the
Yeah.
confidence to go out and be social, you already have to feel, halfway good to go out and do that. And that's the sort of the role that this program plays. And it's not meant to be the thing that solves everything. It's meant to be a piece in a person's life that's like a little spice
Uh-huh.
that can help
Okay.
them, taste life better, put it
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how I
Well,
see it.
and at the same time, um, what's the right word? You know, makes their health better, right? Which makes you feel better. I mean, it's like a thing that just keeps
Exactly.
going round
Exactly.
and round
That's
and
right.
round.
It's a
Yeah.
virtuous cycle, as they say. It's
Yeah.
a positive feedback loop. Because we
Yes.
all know the negative feedback loops. When you don't feel good,
Oh my
you don't
God.
go out and
Yeah.
meet people, which then leads to,
Yeah.
that's something that everyone talks about, everybody knows about. But that positive feedback loop, but you just need just a little jump start,
Yeah.
sometimes just to like a little laugh,
Uh-huh.
something to just like let the energy flow just a little bit, and
Yeah.
then
Yes.
experience joy, because it's so, it's like one of these obvious things, but on a
That
regular
nobody
day,
notices.
yeah, it's sort of obvious, and it's everyone says absolutely, but it's like sometimes we go through our days and there's like, you know it's missing, so it's really
Yeah.
meant to be
Yeah.
something that could be, a little joy to give you a little bit of energy. And it's also interesting how energy kind of comes out of nowhere, you know
Yes. Mm-hmm.
sometimes some people think, well, I got something tonight and I'm feeling a little tired, so I should go take a
Right.
nap. Yeah, maybe. Or if you spend energy, you get to make more energy, like an
Yeah.
investment. So it's sort of the opposite. I'm
Oh no,
not saying that that's
exactly.
how it's supposed to be all the time,
Oh
but
no.
oftentimes, you got to spend a little energy to make some
That's
energy,
right.
and it
That's
just
right.
pops out
Yeah.
of nowhere, and you don't have no idea where it came from.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, my husband and I go for a walk every morning, usually before we've even had breakfast.
Right.
And, you know, do I feel like doing it? Yeah. Do I
Uh-huh.
feel
Uh-huh.
better? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
that's why I do it. You
Totally.
know.
Totally. Yeah.
But it's just one of those things, as my husband always calls it. He says, we'll go out and get the blood flowing.
Exactly. I use that term all the time. You got to get the
Yeah.
blood flowing. And
Yeah.
it's like, so I have a yoga practice. That's sort of my thing.
Ah.
And
Uh-huh.
I swim from time to time too. But,
Yeah.
you know, I'd say I enjoy it. But
Yeah.
I would say if I were honest, completely honest with you, I like how I feel after. That's why I do
Bingo.
it. It's
That's
not
right.
really that like while I'm doing it. But a lot of people, if you don't like what you're doing at that time, it's a non-starter. Not everyone's going to be is in that frame of mind.
Mm-hmm.
So really
Mm-hmm.
that's why we created this program, is to give something that you can actually
Yes.
enjoy doing during that
Yes.
time as well, you know?
Yes.
So
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Which also makes it go by faster.
yeah, yeah. So it's like, people like to compartmentalize their life, where you
Yeah.
have, your leisure time, and then your leisure time, your exercise time, your social time, your that time. And I think it was a great innovation, or a great insight when people say, "Hey, let's combine social time with exercise time." That's great, you know, but
Yeah.
the leisure time and the exercise time, that's sort of something that's waiting in the
Mm-hmm.
wing. So the
Mm-hmm.
idea is to combine leisure, so I'm actually having fun while I'm doing the exercise, so it kind of feels like both of them. You don't even know which is
Yes.
which. You gotta create
Yes.
some more integrity or holistic feeling in your life, so it's not
Oh,
just
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And what comes to mind is when you do that and you're really enjoying it, and then it's over, and you go, "Oh my God, it's over already! Oh
Yeah,
no!"
that's right, yeah. And it's funny, in the word hobby in French, it's called
Uh-huh.
passe-temps, and passe-temps means literally to pass the time,
Okay. Yeah.
which I thought is very interesting because it's very literal, like what do you imagine if I asked you in English, like what do you do as a pastime? Like what do you do
Right.
to like get from, you say point A to point B? Well, what do you do to get from 4 p.m. to 5:15? Like how do you get from 4 p.m. to, oh, well, I do, this, I do, whatever.
I watch the news, right?
Yeah,
Whatever.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, doing something to transport you,
Yeah.
and then you feel like you came out the other end, like you
Yes.
weren't even in this world, you were somewhere else. Whether you were reading a
Yeah.
book, I was following the story, or doing something, or traveling, or talking to somebody, involved in a conversation, and then you come out the other end and you see the time pass, and there's something like a good feeling about that. It's like, wow, that was time well spent. It's time that I didn't realize was being spent.
Yeah. 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 Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's also those times where you end up talking to somebody and half an hour goes by and you go, "Oh, damn.
Right. Right. Well, that's
I'm
that's the
supposed to be
opposite.
somewhere else."
Oh, right. 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 Yeah. I guess it can go in the other way too. Being
Yeah.
engaged, you can get into an argument with somebody and also feel like, oh my God, we've been talking for
Yes.
the last 45 minutes. That happens too. So,
Uh-huh. Oh, no,
life is
exactly.
fun. Life is fun like that.
It is. It really is. Absolutely. Yeah. I yeah, I'm one of those people who absolutely adores talking to people. I
Hmm.
love finding out what they do, why they do it, you know, what are their plans, where are they going, I mean, it just
Totally. Totally.
not everybody appreciates that.
I
That's what
love
I
that
end
too.
up
It's
doing.
like each person is like a walking universe.
Uh-huh.
It's like a walking, they're
Mm,
like a walking world of
a walking
associations and
story.
logics, and experiences, and things
Yep.
that, the way their
Yeah.
perspective. Yeah, I do too. When I'm relaxed and in a nice conversation, I'm learning about somebody. It's
Yeah.
always really fun. Yeah,
Yeah. 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 Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. So, okay. So how do people get involved? Do you have like a trial period? Why don't you tell me a little bit about the actual program and how it
Sure.
works?
Yeah, so LudoFit's a downloadable program. You don't need any extra equipment. It works on most laptops, iPads. You just need, any computer will do. That's the beauty of LudoFit is doing more with less. So you don't need any devices or anything like that. It's just a software, it tracks your motions, and there's a website we have. It's ludo.fit. So ludo.fit. And
Okay.
I'm sure you'll put that in the show notes and see that
I will.
there.
I
But
will.
it's a
Yep.
website. You go learn about it, see what people have to say about it.
Uh-huh.
If you think it's for you, if you're thinking that's something you'd like to try, you can go ahead and click to download it for Apple or for Windows,
Uh-huh.
and start a 14-day trial. There's no cost for that, and you don't have to put any credit card number or anything. We really just want to make it easy for people to just experience it,
That's
because
nice.
it really is something that you need to experience. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, and give it a try. That's all there is to it. It takes about 5 minutes to download and get started, and you create your account and you do a little there's a little optional strength test. So it's a little 30
Ah.
second test that kind of helps the program evaluate, what level you are in terms of your physical level. And then it'll recommend some games to start. So it'll be like,
Mm.
hey, why don't you try skiing the Italian Alps for doing a bit of squatting and weight shifting? And then after you play the game, each game is about 5 minutes long. So the way
Okay,
we
that's
think
good
about
to
it is
know.
like it's like snackable exercise, So from the moment you put your coffee brewer on to the
Yeah.
moment it's ready, you can get one or two games in,
Oh my God, yes.
and right in the kitchen you have put your laptop on the countertop. You do some games
Ah.
while the brewer
Okay.
does its thing, and then you're so that's what it's all about. And after you play the game, it'll ask you, how was it? How was your level of effort? Rate your level of
Mm.
effort from 1 to 5. And then based
Okay.
on how you rate it, and it's like, okay, it was a little easy or slightly difficult. You rate
Yeah.
it, and then the next time you play that game,
It
the
adjusts.
difficulty will be adjusted. So
Yeah.
it's meant to sort of follow you where you go. If you're starting to get stronger, if you're starting to get the hang of it on LudoFit, the
Uh-huh.
program's going to get a little bit more challenging, because the point is getting
Ah.
to the just right challenge. This is a
Mm.
concept in physical therapy, is
Uh-huh.
the just right challenge. Because if it's not challenging enough, it's not going to
Right.
be interesting. If it's too challenging, well, there's other problems, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, you're gonna get hurt. Yeah.
it needs to be at the just right challenge.
Uh-huh.
So that's
Uh-huh.
really
Yeah.
the program is designed to help you get there.
Wow.
And that's it. And you can do for 5, 10, 15 minutes at a time. The recommendation for exercise is 15 minutes a day. That's what people are, or 150
Oh.
minutes a week is the recommended
Huh.
exercise. But in
Okay.
general, if you can get in 15 minutes a day,
Uh-huh.
that's good. That's good. So each game is 5 minutes long. Right now, there's 5 or 6 games in there. You go in, you play around, you enjoy, get a little exercise, you feel it a bit, get invigorated, and then your coffee's ready, and you can enjoy your coffee. So that's it. It's a 14-day trial, and
Uh-huh.
then there's a monthly subscription. If you're interested to continue, it's
Hmm.
$7.99 per month. So it's designed to be affordable too.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. And then do you have people fill out things afterwards? Not every time, obviously, but how are you doing? Is this working for you? I mean, just to get feedback?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, more and more. I mean, as we grow our user base, we're
Yeah.
gonna be, we won't, we'll have different people providing feedback at different times, but we're
Yeah.
always soliciting feedback. And if someone becomes like, sees this program, and we've have had plenty of people who, see the program and says like, I want to jump on board this. I want to, talk to the people who created this program. I want to give them
Yeah.
ideas. I want to be
Yeah.
involved in this because this is cool. And then we all welcomed them with open arms, jump on the call, learn, participate in a brainstorming session, all that type of thing. So we really kind of welcome, and I'm excited to see as the community grows who we'll meet. You talk about the enjoyment of
Oh
meeting
yeah.
people, and that has been
Yeah.
such a pleasure meeting people. I've had many calls with people, long calls with people about the program. We got on the program, we got on the call so I can get feedback, but you know, you know where the conversation goes, and we talk about this and how it happened and where I am and what's going on, and this is what I
my
think,
family and
my opinion on this, that, and the other. It's like it's great, like it's so yeah, we definitely do welcome feedback, and there's always an email address that people can give feedback to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal. Very exciting. Very exciting.
Awesome.
So just out of curiosity, when did you guys actually launch?
November 1st.
Go public. November 1st?
We made this program public on November 1st.
Oh my
So
God.
it was released out of beta on November 1st.
Wow.
So
I didn't realize.
We're really excited about that.
And really new.
Really new, yeah.
Yeah.
Really
wow.
new, but it's been around. It's been test driven quite a bit, I would say. We've had a lot of pilots and a lot of beta testers. So yeah, it's ready for prime time, ready for people to go and give it a shot. So I really encourage people to try it. It's not necessarily, I guarantee it's not something that you're used to doing, going and for people to go get a new software and try it out. It's not necessarily something that people are have a habit of doing, but I encourage people to give it a try, step out of the routine for a moment and take a moment and try to go in a different direction and give it a shot and see what it feels like and see how you feel after, because you might be surprised.
Oh, absolutely.
At the time, you might say, wow, 5 minutes, it just passed. I'm feeling it. I feel invigorated, and it's pretty cool. So.
Oh, no, for sure. Well, and the age group that you're kind of zeroing in on as well. I mean, we all kind of were the ones who started with all of the exercise people on TV.
True.
So it's really not that different.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that we can have it a little bit more for us than Jack LaLanne was, right?
Right.
But I remember doing all those when I was teenager and 20s and
interesting
30s and yeah, for sure. So I can see where that people would really be able to identify with and say, oh, okay, this is good but better.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
No,
Absolutely.
That's very exciting. Yeah. Okay. So anything else you'd like to talk about? I think we've kind of gone around the whole circle here.
Yeah. No, I think I think it's been a great conversation. I really appreciated being on your show and speaking with your audience, and look forward to connecting with you listeners out there, trying the program and providing your thoughts and feedback.
Okay. No, that's great. And I have your website, ludo.fit.
That's the one.
And just out of curiosity, where did the name Ludo come from?
So Ludo is simple. It actually means game in Latin. So it's a fun word. It sounds nice, and it means game. And ludic means sort of fun. Like that's another word that people use. So
interesting.
A lot of words come. Ludicrous is a word that comes from there. It's not exactly what we're going for. I'm not going for ludicrous, but that is ludo is a sort of a kind of a word that fits into those types of things. But it's really about fun. Being physically healthy, doing exercise in a fun and engaging and enjoyable way.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. That's great. It's just one of those words though that it's not like in common language. So
yeah, that's it.
Yeah. No, that's good to know. Good to know. So okay, well, I am going to wrap up with what I usually say, which is that neither of us are doctors, and this is not to be seen as medical advice. And with that, thank you very much for being on the show. And I will see everybody next week.
This has been Healthy Tips After 50 with Susan Rosen. To stay on the cutting edge of the most effective health strategies, subscribe to this podcast and let us know what you thought of the show with a comment or like on iTunes. Visit healthytipsafter50.com for this episode's show notes, more resources, and free offers.